What up, everybody? This is Dom Heck from WisdomCast. Today I am beyond excited for our guest, the most badass woman in Hollywood, Renae Moneymaker. Renae is a stunt performer, stunt double, and fight coordinator in many of the top films today. You can see some of her work in the Avengers films, the Wolverine as Rila Fukushima stunt double, Jennifer Lawrence's stunt double in the Hunger Games films, Mystique in the X-Men films, and Passengers. She was also the stunt double for Evangeline Lilly as the Wasp in Ant-Man and the Wasp, and Chloe Bennet in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Her most recently released film, she plays the stunt double for Margot Robbie as Harley Quinn in Birds of Prey. Last week, Renae released her newest stunt reel. Before we bring her on, I would like to share the reel with you so you can see for yourself how badass she really is. And here she is, Renae Moneymaker. How are you?
Hi, I'm great. Thanks for having me on.
Absolutely, absolutely. I got to say, that is quite the resume there. The first time I watched that reel, I was just yelling. I was like, yes!
Thank
Well,
you. Thank you very much.
yeah, absolutely. You know, you got just a crazy resume. How is it just playing all those roles that are just the top of the echelon in terms of Hollywood and films in general? Like, what's it like playing those powerful roles?
Oh, thank you. It's it's really it's a dream come true, and I've been really blessed to have some really spectacular roles. I don't really think about it too often though, and then there are times where I'm kind of putting my reel or my resume together, and I kind of look back on
Yeah.
some things I've done, and I just it's a very surreal moment where I go, whoa, and I'm just kind of very grateful for all those opportunities and all those really awesome
Like,
cast
whoa, whoa,
members.
those things actually happened.
Yeah.
Who helped you put your reel together, by the way? That was the video, the music, that was all awesome.
Thank you. That is the wonderful work of Tuesday Wilson. She's a good friend of mine and video editor and marketing specialist person. But yeah, she we just kind of, I was talking to her like, oh yeah, I need to put a new reel together, and she's like, well, I can help you with that, and I was like, sure, that'd be a cool project. And then yeah, she came up with all these great ideas and just really came up with a great little reel for me. She's
Yeah.
awesome.
That's awesome. As you're sending that out, I don't see why anyone wouldn't watch you in any of their films coming up. So I'm looking forward to seeing what's next for you in that realm. But looking at some of the pictures behind you, I did want to kind of go into how you got into everything originally, how everything kind of started. Can see some of your gymnastics photos there. So I did pull up a photo here, just kind of talking about your origin and how things started for you. How old were you when you started gymnastics? Is this kind of the roots that got you into stunts? Those types of things.
Oh man, that photo. That was another life ago.
San Jose State Spartans, both of us, by the way, representing out here.
Spartans, yes. Bay Area kids, great. Yeah, so I am from a family of gymnasts. There's 6 of us, and every single one of us did gymnastics at one point or the other. But yeah, so I started gymnastics when I was probably 3 years old. I don't even really remember my first day. Some of my earliest memories are in a gymnastics gym. It was my first love, and it definitely got me to where I am today.
Yeah, that's awesome. How many siblings did you say you have total? You said you have 6 siblings total?
I have 6 siblings total, yes.
That's awesome. Yeah, I come from a big family too. I have 5 brothers and then 1 sister who's the youngest of us all. So she's got 6 older brothers.
Oh my gosh. So we're the opposite because we're all girls and I have 1 brother.
Oh, really? Yep. So it's the exact opposite then.
Yeah.
That's hilarious. So yeah, I saw that you started in gymnastics, started at San Jose State. And then from there, how did you end up getting into 8711? For anyone that doesn't know, 8711 is the hub down in the LA area for where all the best stunt coordinators, fight choreographers, all the top Hollywood actors and actresses are going to train to do their films. How did you kind of become a part of that facility and what they do?
Yeah, great introduction. They are definitely the premier and elite action design company in Los Angeles. But I'm going to take it back a little bit. So I had my older sister, Heidi. She's a stunt woman. And so I had known about the stunt industry for a while. I didn't really think it was for me when I was younger. But once I was done competing at San Jose State, there was a gymnastics TV show that had gotten picked up, and we all, being in the gymnastics world, we all knew about it, and we were really excited about it. And my coach was like, "Hey, why don't you? You have a sister in the industry. Why don't you try to go be an extra on that TV show for the summer?" Because I was looking for a job, and I was like, "Oh, that might be fun for the summer." And so I called up my sister, and I was like, "Hey, do you think I could be an extra on that show? Do you think you could connect me?" And she's like, "Well, you're good enough to double. Why don't I see if I can get you an audition?"
Nice.
So she connected me with the gymnastics coordinator, and I came down to LA and I did a their little promo non-union. It was like my audition basically. Me and another girl that I knew, and yeah, I matched one of the actresses really well. I'm tall for a gymnast. I'm 5'7".
Yeah.
And yeah, so I matched one of the girls really well. And so they started bringing me on that show quite a bit. And it did not take long for me to fall in love with filmmaking and stunt work and just being on set and just the whole process of everything. So I thought what I was doing was, going to have fun for the summer, work on a TV show. And right away, I think my 3rd time working, I called up my sister and I was like, I want to be a stunt woman. What do I have to do? How do I do this? And she was like, she had mentioned it to me before, and I was like, oh, it's kind of your thing, I don't know. And she was so excited, and she was like, I'm so excited. Okay, you have to move to LA. We're gonna start training you. So,
That's awesome. It's funny talking to stunt people. We always have like a weird story how we kind of just fell into into stunts, because no one's born like, oh, I want to be a stunt person right away. It's like we do a bunch of stuff, like whether it's martial arts or gymnastics or whatever it is, and then it's like, oh, there's this stunt thing in film. Yeah, that would always be a cool idea. And then it ends up right when you get started in it, you just fall in love with it. It's just like, this is the best thing ever.
Yeah, definitely. And uh, yeah, it's so funny. And there's definitely a lot more buzz about the stunt industry now. I think just the change in media and exposure and all that. But, 10, 15 years ago, it wasn't really like that. But I think it's a little more common to know about stunts and stunt doubles nowadays. But definitely not back then. But yeah, so let me pick up. Let's see. So I just moved to LA. My sister was part of the 8711 team, and so she brought me in. And
that's her in the middle here, right? Is that your sister in the middle?
Yep, that's her.
And this was for like yeah. When I grabbed this picture, I saw that this was for the Higan Machado thing and he was actually one of the guests on my show too. So I was like, oh, I got to bring this picture in right here.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, I really, really enjoyed working with him when he came and taught there for a bit. Really enjoyed him as an instructor.
Who are some of these other people here too?
Let's see here. Okay. I'm sorry. Oh my God. I'm getting so close. You can see my pores. Let's see. I see Ben Jenkins. I see, so from right to left, Ben Jenkins, that's me. That's my sister Heidi. It's so small. I can't see who's in the back there. I can't make out the other. I'm so sorry. I'm embarrassed.
No, you're good. That's awesome though. So how often do you guys train there? Is it like different classes, different teachers all the time, or is it kind of structured where it's the same teachers? Because I've seen like Higan comes through sometimes. How does that kind of all work for you guys?
So they try to. They usually have a jiu-jitsu instructor that will do classes on certain days, and you can go and pay to do their classes. But then Chad Stahelski, who is one of the founders of 8711, maybe you've heard of him. He's the director of John Wick, amongst all other successes. Very well decorated in the stunt industry. If you don't know who he is, like,
you gotta look him up. You gotta look him up for sure. Because he was originally the way I've kind of heard it, or maybe I'm wrong. And you correct me if I'm wrong. He was originally the stunt coordinator on the Matrix films, right? On the original Matrix films. And then he became the director for the John Wick films after meeting Keanu and all that stuff. Is that right?
So not only was he on the original Matrix, he was Keanu Reeves' stunt double.
He was. That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
So how about that for a full circle?
That's crazy. That's crazy. And now he's got the 8711, where I know him and all of his crew come to train, and just all the big actors and actresses come to train their stunt crews there. So that's awesome.
Yeah. So back to your question about training at the gym. So Chad actually on Monday, three days a week, he does open classes for you can go and take his judo fight choreography classes. He kind of just comes in and teaches. He wants to give back. He wants to create better performers, and yeah, he does that. He doesn't charge anyone anything. He just does it because I think that's one of his true passions, is teaching, and he's really great at it. And so he has classes. There's also private classes for team members that are on separate days. And then it just depends who's in there. Our industry, we're constantly on the road. We're traveling. We're like show to show. So there's never really a consistent, people who are there, but they're always in and out. And so whoever's around is there and training, and when
you guys load out for a full film, everyone's probably gone at those times. There's probably a couple stragglers behind, but when you guys roll out, you guys go pretty deep into films with your whole crew, huh?
Definitely. Yeah. Well, before the pandemic happened, I was on a 8711 film, and we had, if you weren't on our film, you were on I think it was a Jason Momoa film. I forget the name of it, but yeah, we had, between those two, everyone was taken.
empty facility at those times, then, huh?
Yeah.
So I pulled up this picture too. This is, if it's hard for you to see, it's the picture from X-Men. I'm guessing this is all some 8711 people, and then you guys were pretty much the stunt doubles for each of these X-Men characters. Is that correct?
Yeah, actually, those are not 8711 team members, but also very talented, awesome stuntmen. Mish Todorovic, he's all the way to the right. He is an incredible free runner parkour guy. You should look him up on his Instagram and all that. I believe he's also on Team Tempest. He's just an incredible performer. That was actually one of his first stunt jobs.
Really? Is he Beast right there? Is that who he is?
Yeah, he's Beast.
Yeah.
And he was a beast. Yeah, he did such a great job.
The parkour stuff probably goes pretty well with that character then for sure.
Definitely. And then next to me is Shane Haberstad. He's a US stuntman, great performer. And then we have our Canadian stuntman doubling Magneto.
Nice. That's awesome. Yeah, that was a cool picture. I definitely had to pull that one in. And then, so going into the Hunger Games, was the Hunger Games one of the first big ones you got, or what was kind of your first? You said the gymnastics one on the TV show, and then how did you get involved with the Hunger Games? How did that kind of come along?
So, this is an interesting story. So, I was new to stunts. I was pretty new to stunts. I was still within my, I had worked on the gymnastics show for about a year before I moved to LA. And then as soon as I moved to LA, I was spending all my time actively pursuing stunts, training hard, anywhere from 4 to 6 hours a day, taking all these different classes, just kind of just grasping at anything I could do during that time. So, but it takes a while when you're getting started in stunts. It takes a while for not only for people to know who you are, but especially when you're new. It takes a while to kind of get those first chances, like to get somebody to kind of trust you and trust you'll do a good job. And then also like the opportunity where maybe they need someone and, everyone, everyone's kind of busy or taken and then you kind of slip into that slot. So,
Yep.
The Hunger Games was, I think I had been moved to LA for about a year. So I was probably 2 years into stunts at that time. But Chad Stahelski was the coordinator and second unit director on that movie. So I had been training in his gym. And he comes up to me one day and he has a picture in his hand. He doesn't show it to me, but he like holds it up.
Kind of looking at you, looking at the picture.
Kind of just like, you have a fitting next week. And I was like, oh, okay, awesome, great. Didn't tell me what it was for. Didn't tell me anything. And so I go to the fitting, and so they started fitting me in these clothes, and they're like, oh, are you going to be the Katniss stunt double? And I was like, what? No, I don't think so. They're like, we're fitting you for Katniss. And I was like, what?
You're like, hold up.
And they're like, you look just like her. Oh my God, you're going to be such a great double. And I was like, well, I don't know if I have it. I think I'm just here to see, and not getting my hopes up or anything. And but yeah, so it turns out Chad took me out on that movie along with another stunt woman, Karen Silvestri, who I was there. I was a really good match for Jennifer, but I was new. So he, brought a vetted stunt woman to come out, just in case I, wasn't pulling my weight or wasn't able to do the job or all that. So between me and Karen, we worked on the first one, and then I got hooked up with Jennifer, and we did 8 films together since then. So
that's crazy. Yeah. So are you pretty much like our full-time stunt double? Because I mean, obviously the connection with you both looking alike, and then being able to pull off the stunts. That's cool that she's been able to kind of bring you along for all these other films too. That's awesome. It's
a really great run. I absolutely love working with her. She's not doing too much action these days. But anytime she has something coming up, I'm like, clear my schedule. I'm coming with you.
That's cool. And I did come across a little clip I found on YouTube that was going through Passengers, where you doubled for on that one too. And it kind of was talking about the wiring. And so I know that's something that's big at 8711 is you guys are really good at the wiring. I had the honor of kind of watching you guys when we met in San Francisco and some of the wire stunts you guys were doing. Like for me, a newer stunt guy who hasn't been involved in wiring stuff, kind of tell us like how hard is it? Like, because I know watching Chris Pratt's video here, he was saying like it's like a full-on ab workout. It's tough. What was the learning process for you, like learning the wiring stuff?
So if you look, this is a great clip, by the way. If you look at some of the rigs we're in, they hated the rigs. They were awful. So these are what we used for passengers because it was supposed to be zero gravity. These were specialized rigs. This isn't something you're in every day. As far as stunts, like so we used they call them lollipop rigs.
Yeah.
And they showed them. That's kind of one.
Is that this right here?
One. But you had one where you had a guy in green, more towards the beginning, where you literally had a guy in green steering the rig, and then you also are in a twisting belt, and that is a crazy ab workout. And to make the zero G believable, all your movements have to be very slow, and you can't. You're kind of cinched in right at your hip point. So you can't bend at the waist, back or front. So you have to keep all this so tight. And anything you do has to be very, very slow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like holding midway through a crunch pretty much, like just holding that tightness.
Yeah. And everything in that belt is just pressing on your pelvis, like pulling it on your hip flexors. It's definitely uncomfortable, but that was really fun. I really enjoyed it. And it's cool because especially when you get a chance to play around with it, you can spin really fast.
How much control do you have of it versus the person controlling the wires? Is it kind of like a 50-50 thing, or who really is controlling it all?
So, I'd say about 50-50. You have the guy kind of with the steering wheel on the pole, and he's kind of turning the rig. And then since you're on a twisty belt, you're kind of manipulating a little bit like what you're doing inside of it.
Yeah.
They can also control whether you're like, I feel like I'm whether
you're in it right now.
Yeah, whether you're kind of going forwards or back, whether you're going to do like a front flip or a back flip. Yeah, definitely a lot of teamwork. It took a lot of rehearsals. It took a lot of dialing in.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Do the people that work most of the wires, are they at 8711 too, or is it kind of you meet on set and then just kind of figure things out?
Yeah, there's a lot of different stunt teams and stunt groups out there. And this wasn't particularly an 8711 film. And yeah, it's you always kind of get in there, and most of the time your rigging coordinator is somebody that's been around for a very long time, very reputable, very responsible. They're always very concerned with safety. You start off small. You don't start off full speed and
triple backflip right off the bat. Yeah.
Yeah. No, you get in. You they pull you up. You move around. They set you down. You go from here. You don't just kind of start off the bat going full speed.
Yeah, that's crazy.
But yeah, so lots of different teams, lots of different riggers and everything out there. But
it looks fun. It looks fun.
Some of the best.
Well, you mentioned your sister a couple times, so I definitely wanted to bring her up as well too. She's also in the stunt industry and one of the top people in Hollywood as well too. What has it been like, working with your sister, whether it's on a film or just, practicing for a film, the chemistry you guys have, being a fellow gymnast? What's that relationship kind of like?
It's honestly been great. She is not only my big sister, she's my best friend, she's my mentor, and she is one of the ones who groomed me from the very beginning. Yeah. So she's also been, a coach to me as well. We have the best time together. We don't always get to work together that much. She is always doubling some lead actress somewhere. And up until recently, there's only one, usually there's a bunch of guys and one girl. So we love it when we can work together. We always have a blast. We always joke that we have to separate sometimes because we'll laugh too much and get in trouble. But
Couple
yeah,
kids in
you
school.
see from this photo, there's quite a height difference. So luckily, there hasn't been a lot of like competition for us. Like we double different actresses, different height spectrum.
That works out well. That works out well then.
Yeah, it's been great. And yeah, she's getting into stunt coordinating and directing now. So the hope and dream is that just I work on her films and we can start working together more often.
That'd be awesome. That'd be awesome. Well, I definitely had to pull up this clip from when you did work together, and it is sick. I kind of went to the middle of it, but if anyone ever wants to watch the whole thing, it's called Behind Every Great Man on YouTube. Definitely check it out, but I did pull up this fight scene, so we'll have to check it out real quick right now. That guy looked familiar. Was he in San Francisco?
So he's actually, yeah, he is. He's doubling one of the leads on our movie. So these guys, they're called the Real Deal Stunt or the Real Deal Stunt Team, and they are based in Berlin, Germany. And this is where we filmed this fight. Was in Berlin. I was there working on the Hunger Games, and my sister came out to visit and decided that when I wasn't on film working and shooting, that we were gonna film a short film.
Two birds with one stone. I love it.
Yeah, so I spent all my off time and my weekends like rehearsing and getting ready to do this short film that she choreographed and she directed.
Yeah, this thing is sick.
Thank you. It's so funny. It's so long ago. We need to do another one.
Yeah, right? When's the sequel for this?
I know. Actually, we should do a sequel. I'm going to be working in Berlin again whenever the film industry opens
up. Yeah. Oh, I love that knee spin. That is so sick.
Yeah, these guys are so great. They just let us beat them up, like day in and day out.
That's the role, right?
Yeah.
Ooh. Yeah, we need a Moneymaker Sisters film. I'm calling for it right now.
Yes, I know we do need one.
Full feature. Yeah, these guys are killing it too, for sure.
Yeah, they're really great. I'm actually working with their team again.
Nice.
Yeah, it's been great. It's been a good blast from the past. Heidi's legs look so long when she's kicking. It's almost like they past her legs.
Right? She almost looked taller than you there.
I know.
Look at this. Ooh.
Yeah. That's so Heidi is best known for doubling Scarlett Johansson as Black Widow.
Yep.
So that's kind of her little signature move there.
That's
and
the
so
move.
Thought it would be fun if we both did it.
I'm a big when I was growing up as a kid, I used to watch a lot of WWF, WWE stuff too. And I remember
yeah.
I remember Lita would always do that off the top turnbuckle. So when I first saw that, I was like, I love that move. So then it looks like, how long ago was this when ESPN did a story on you and your sister? How long ago was that? Because that's what this picture's from, I believe, right?
Yes, I believe that is in 2018. A couple years ago. They actually are doing a follow-up piece on us. They already filmed it. It's going to be an E60.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. And let's see. Things got delayed because of world events.
Yep.
But should be coming out this year sometime. So stay tuned.
I know, like you mentioned, you were in Germany during one of the filmings that you were on. Were you guys able to complete that, or did you guys all have to fly back early and then you're going to go back again, or?
Yeah, so we got out to Germany and we were there for about 10 days before I was on a flight back home. So
yeah, that's like right when everything kind of went down. So I was like, oh, I wonder how they're going to do out there with all this going on.
Yeah, we had we were supposed to start we hadn't started filming out there. We were prepping. So we hadn't started filming. We were supposed to film that Friday, and I think by our Sunday night we got a call that was like, stand down. We got to see what's happening here. We might be going home. So
That's crazy.
by Friday we were on a flight home. So
that's nuts. And then I had to pull this picture up because you and your sister are absolutely jacked. It's crazy. Like you try to count the packs. You guys got abs on the sides of your abs. You have like a 15 pack here or something like that.
You know what those are called?
What are those called?
Those are called Moneymaker abs.
There it is. Now I know. That's why I can't get those things going on. Shit. Absolute beast right there. I mean, the gymnastics, right? Like all the crazy, because my cousin did gymnastics and I used to go watch her compete in her tournaments and stuff. The flexibility, the strength, just all of it's just so crazy, and like it transitions so well into stunts. So that's crazy.
It really does, and it's been such a great base. And because I did gymnastics my whole life, I've been an athlete my whole life. Yeah. If I kind of take, it doesn't happen very often, but if I'm taking kind of like a week or two off, and I get a little, start to get a little soft bod,
have some pasta.
Yeah, it does not take long for me to bounce back because of just that structure and that, like, it's ingrained in me. Like, I'm supposed to be an athlete, I'm supposed to be training, and I'm supposed to be in shape.
The Moneymaker abs, I love that. Moving right along, I found this picture here. Oh, sorry, what was that?
That's one of my favorites.
Yeah, I pulled this up. I kind of read your caption on it, and I started to get an idea of like what was going on here. So tell me if I'm wrong. I'm gonna see if I can infer this. So there you are as the stunt double for Brie Larson, Captain Marvel.
Yeah.
And then we have the actress here next to Brie Larson, the older lady. And then is that your sister in makeup?
Yes.
That is awesome. When I first looked at it, I was like, whoa, that lady on the end looks a little scary.
Okay, let me tell you a little insider tip about kind of filming this. So as you could tell from the last photo, my sister is lean and jacked, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So because she had this cardigan on, underneath, she's just herself, right? So It was a hot day, summer in LA. So when we were not filming, she didn't have her cardigan on. So she's walking around with her gray wig, with her old face, like her moo-moo, and then she's just like tan and just like ripped.
Shredded.
Like walking around. It was the funniest, like you just look at it and you're like, something's so very wrong with this.
It's like a shredded older lady.
But then I was like, Heidi, you know that this is going to be you when you're this old. Like,
I was just going to say that. Maybe that's going to be what she'll look like when she's that old, Yeah, so I definitely pulled up that clip where I found this. We had to go through this one real quick.
Great.
So this is Brie Larson, Captain Marvel, bumping into the old lady there. And it's funny, like, rewatching these clips, I picked up on things in the movie that I didn't notice, like, first time watching the movie,
Yeah, funny how that happens, huh?
Yep. Like, one thing right here. So that's Stan Lee, obviously.
Yep.
And I didn't even notice this the first time. He was reading a book called Mallrats. And then, because he's good friends with Kevin Smith, who I'm a big fan of, and the line he says is actually from the script of Mallrats. Did you know that? You probably knew that, huh?
You know what? I didn't. I knew that whatever he was reading was symbolic, but I don't think I ever went back and paused it to read the headline. But that is too funny.
I didn't notice it until I was rewatching it, like going through your stuff, and I was like, wait, that's what was going on here. Because Kevin Smith, Jay and Silent Bob and all those movies, and he's a big comic book guy. So Stan Lee was pretty much showing him love to Kevin Smith, who's always showed him love. So I was like, I just picked up on that.
Suspect on northbound train in
pursuit. I remember watching this in theaters, just being like, "Oh, she just hit the old lady."
Yeah, definitely like a shocking moment. Oh man. And I am gonna, if you're gonna let this clip play, I'm gonna give a shout out. That's my friend Joanna, who also doubles for Brie Larson. Joanna Bennett. Yeah, we this was a big action film. We had 2 to 3 units going at a time, and so between me, Joanna, and Brie, we kind of tackled all the action there. So want to give a little shout out to Joanna.
Definitely. I think I have that picture coming up next where let me see if I have that here too. Believe I do. Yeah, we'll go straight to that picture actually. I have a couple more Marvel clips to show. But that, I believe that's Joanna on the right, and then we have Brie Larson, and then yourself on the left. Talking about this, so this was at the MTV Movie Awards, and you guys won the award for Best Fight Scene, was it? Was that right?
Yes, correct.
And then Brie Larson brought you girls along. Tell me about that. How'd that come up, and what was that like?
So this was such a huge thing that Brie did, and it wasn't just that day for me and Joanna. This was huge for our whole stunt community, that she brought us up there and was like, hey, like, that's great that I'm awarded for this, but these girls, you know, we're behind the action.
Oh,
here they are, Joanna and Renae.
I don't want to cut you off.
It was huge.
You kind of froze for a second. Just kind of reset what you just said. Sorry, kind of like cut off for a second.
Okay, do you want me to start from the beginning?
Just where she brought you on, it was big for the stunt community, and then it kind of cut off a little bit.
Okay. Yeah, so not only was this so kind and so big for me and Joanna, this was huge for our community. We've been fighting so hard as a community to get into the Oscars, get recognition for all that. And the more that actors can kind of recognize us, it means so much to us as a community. So not only was this big for Joanna and I, this was huge for our community. And Brie, thank you so much.
Yeah, no, that's awesome for sure. And I was kind of doing my research a little bit, and I saw a bunch of people online kind of hating on Brie Larson a little bit when she did this, because they were talking about like, oh, she says she does her own stunts, but like then she has stunt doubles. And I was like, these people just don't understand that, yeah, Renae does a bunch of crazy stuff, but Brie still has to learn how to do the stuff too to sell it for the transitions between the face and stuff like that. So I'm like reading these comments of people being angry. I'm just like, shut up. Like, you don't even know what you're talking about.
I believe that what she said something in an interview, and I think it got blown way out of proportion.
Yep.
But Brie, in her defense, Brie did a lot. She did so much for an actor. Like, she blew us all away. Yeah. I'm not used to. She also not necessarily an athlete. She came in, she trained with a trainer for 6 months before she even started prep for Captain Marvel. And then we prepped for 3 or 4 months, and she was doing judo and kickboxing and kicking and fighting and learning everything to be an action actress. And she blew us away, because when she showed up, you know, because at first she was like, you know, I'm not really an athlete. I've never really done anything like this. And then the things that we were able to get her to do, just, it blew us all away. And by the end, we were like, people would ask us like, "Oh, do you think Brie can do this?" And we're like, "Oh yeah, no problem."
Done. Yep.
Done.
Yeah,
no.
I thought it was really cool how she did that, especially for the stunt community during these times where, like you kind of mentioned, trying to get into the Oscars and all that. It's time that, you know, stunt people get some recognition too, especially with the top films these days being in these action films and these superhero films. The stunt people are a huge part of that with the actors and actresses, and I think it's awesome she did that for sure. That's really cool.
Yeah, one more thing about that. I was bummed when people just gave her such a hard time for that, because she was so great to Joanna and I throughout that film. Not only us, her doubles, but our whole stunt department.
Yep.
She loved us. She even like got us these, made us these sweatshirts that said Captain Marvel stunt team. Like before we started filming, as just like a, hey, thanks for being my bros, you know.
Yep. Teamwork makes the dream work. Going back though, I did have a couple more Captain Marvel scenes. Maybe just kind of tell us what was going on in the scenes, if there's anyone that you want to shout out during these parts, like you did kind of with Joanna, and how you guys kind of pulled off some of the stuff.
So right off the bat, like you can tell just by looking at this scene, there was a lot of wire work in this in these scenes. We had a really great stunt team, a huge stunt team, and rigging team on this. So Jeff Haverstad, who I love and have worked with so much. We've done the X-Men's together. We did Captain Marvel together. He was second unit directing this scene. And then his coordinators and rigging coordinators, Hank Amos and Jim Churchman, they were behind a lot of, the wire work and just all the logistics that it takes to put a huge action scene like this together. And then, let's see, what else do we have?
We never hung out? No, I just never liked
That's
you.
cool.
All of our performers and stunt, like they did great. And this was one of the last things we shot on a very long, grueling shooting schedule.
Yeah. Everyone's tired and withered, but they're still like, once
Oh.
the camera rolls, let's do this thing.
Yeah, it still has to look great. This is the finale. This is the last big action scene. So
That's
yeah,
cool.
shout out to all my brothers and sisters who put their hard work into that one.
Yeah, that one is really cool. Do you know which specific scene you guys won best fight for, or was it just kind of for the film
I believe
overall?
it was that one, actually.
It was for that one. Okay,
Yeah.
Yep, that was cool. And then this one I wanted to pull up. I'm going to guess this was you kind of hanging upside down or something like that, and then you got to spin out of it, or how did this one kind of work?
Okay, so this is one of the things I was talking about. That's all Brie.
That's all Brie.
That's all Brie, yeah.
See, that's what I'm saying. These people are hating, and they don't even understand that, like, the actors and actresses, they do a bunch of the stunts themselves, you know?
It was complicated, too, because she's hanging there in a wire system, and at a point, we had to release her because she breaks out of her feet, so she's on quick link. And so at a certain point, she's falling. So she has to get herself around, or else, she's going to land on her head.
Yeah. Another thing
yeah,
I think
that
she
was-
did... Oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Another thing I think she did really well, especially in, like, this scene right here, is the facial expressions, the sell, like, the moves, and just, like, the little wittiness she has, and, like, the little sarcastic remarks, in between the fight scenes. Like, I love that stuff with her in Captain Marvel.
Yeah, it really helps a fight scene when you can put some of the characters, so it's not just like Brie playing Captain Marvel and then it's a fight scene and then she's Captain Marvel again. She brings those subtleties into, like, weaves them in, and it really helps just make it seamless.
Is that you there?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was sick. That's the thing. I'm watching I could, like, watch these things all day. Like, I've probably watched each one like 3, 4, 5 times now. I'm just like, oh, I love this stuff.
Oh, thanks.
And then this is a short little one. How did you get like tossed here? Is this you here when you get kind of thrown back inside the ship?
Yeah, so this was done in a few different pieces. So this was a wire system, and then then this last part where I kind of fly through flame. I fly through frame and land on the ground. So that was just I was down the hall on a steel deck that was pretty high, and I just ran and then launched myself.
Jump later.
Tried to get flat so it matched the previous shot.
That's cool. Yeah. Congratulations on winning that award, though. That's super cool. You guys got that. And again, shout out to Brie Larson for bringing you and Joanna on. I think that's really awesome for sure.
Thank you.
Then I had to bring this one up. So you were on Fast and the Furious. So we have the most badass woman in Hollywood doubling the most badass woman.
God. Major girl crush right here.
Yeah,
I'm like, be cool. It's just Ronda Rousey, no big deal.
Yep. So I would imagine she does a lot of her own fight stuff, but then I saw there was one where you kind of get thrown off the balcony. Was that you on that part, or?
Yeah, so Ronda, of course, did all of her own fighting. She was incredible. There's no way I could have done it better than her, or even half as good as her.
Yeah, her moves are insane. She's got that judo background, which is just perfect for stunt fighting and fight coordinating and all that stuff.
She just picked everything up so quickly and had such a great attitude towards it. But yeah, actually, that is when I go over the balcony, that is my sister tackling me over the balcony, doubling Michelle Rodriguez.
No way. So you got to work together on Fast and the Furious. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah, that's awesome. I love Ronda. I'm a big UFC fan. I watched every single fight card, and watching Ronda's rise at the top was so fun to watch. And that was huge for women in general too, and women's MMA and women in sports. Ronda Rousey definitely carried that torch, to make women's MMA even exist, honestly, especially in like the UFC.
Absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
that's pretty cool. Then moving right along, you got to play the role of Harley Quinn, and you stunt doubled Margot Robbie. What was it like getting that call and finding out you were going to be playing that role, and just how exciting was that?
Oh man, that was so cool. So I got a call from Jonathan Eusebio, who is one of the top coordinators and fight coordinators at 8711. Called me and was like, hey, or actually it was John Valera who called me, but JoJo was coordinating it. He's like, hey, so are you available? I got this job coming up. And I was like, sure, when is it? And like, what are we doing? Where are we filming? And he's like, it's gonna be in LA, dream job. And it would be for doubling Harley Quinn. And I was just like, really? He's like, yeah, it's perfect for you because she's, so acrobatic and, there's going to be a lot of fights and we want to do this, really like specialized trampoline, slackline, sequence and all that. And, I was like, okay, cool. And, just one thing, I can't roller skate. So you're going to have to get a roller skate double. I was like, I'm good on my feet. Anything on wheels, like skateboarding, roller skating, not my jam. And they're like, don't worry about it. We have this awesome skate double. She's, going to do all the roller skating, yada, yada. Well, turns out they want to do a whole fight scene on the roller skates. And the roller skate girl, she was amazing, but she didn't have the fight skills. So they're like, Renae, we need you to learn how to roller skate. Not only do you need to learn how to roller skate, you need to learn how to do a fight scene on roller skates because then we have to teach Margot.
Oh, jeez. Yeah, that's much harder to learn fighting than roller skating. How long did it kind of take you to get comfortable on the wheels?
Oh, I'm still not comfortable on the wheels. That was definitely the most challenging part of that job. And I knew that Margot was going to do most of it, but as a stunt double, you need to be able to, if your actor can't perform it, you have to be ready to go. And also too, you have to teach them how to do everything. So, definitely put a lot of pressure on myself, especially Margot's so good on the skates. She did I, Tonya and all that. And so
that's right. The ice skating one, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But dream job to work on. It was so much fun. I got to do so much awesome, cool stuff. And just like some epic fight scenes, like the police station and the evidence room, the jail cell, like some of my most favorite scenes, that I've ever been a part of.
Yeah, I'm pulling up the jail fight scene first right here. I got a couple of them lined up, the ones that you mentioned. And this one has, I think, my favorite move of yours. I'll point. Actually, it's close between the Mystique kick onto the table one and then this one where you kind of do the 360 spin in the air. I think that might be, it's between those two for my favorite move of yours, I got to say.
Yeah, I like that one too, the jump off the cell. It was a little tricky. It was a little slippery in there.
Yeah, I bet. Did they have the actual fire sprinklers going off, or are these kind of hoses going off, or what was it?
This was practical water.
Yep.
This was actual water coming down, puddles, the whole shebang.
You killed it in this so hard. Like, oh, this is so sick. Ooh. Bang.
It's so violent.
When I watch this stuff, I'm just like when I'm watching it alone, I'm at home just like, yes, yes, yes. There it is. Boom. That move is so sick.
Thank you. That's John Valera right there.
That's your boy?
That's John Valera, yeah.
Bang. Yeah, that scene is too cool. But you got to tell me, what was it like working with Margot Robbie? How cool is she? What was the relationship like, the chemistry, and kind of, You know, because obviously you have to do some stuff. She has to do some stuff similar with like the Captain Marvel role. Just how was it overall working with her?
Oh man, I can't say enough great things about her. I have never worked with somebody so professional and talented in so many ways and so focused. Like, so
Yeah.
she was the lead actress and she was also producing the film. And she was definitely not like a placeholder producer. She was there day in, day out, meetings. Like, she worked 7 days a week the whole time. And of course, doing things. That girl did not have a day off. She probably still hasn't had a day off. She is the most hardworking, most professional actress that I've ever had the pleasure of working with. And not only, you know, being the lead in a movie and being almost in every single scene of the movie, she had a 4-hour makeup job every day.
Yep.
You know, so tacking that on the hours and everything, I never saw her break. I never saw her, you know, be shitty to anyone, you know, be short with anyone. She was always kind and courteous, and just she would show up. If sometimes she would only have 45 minutes. She'd show up and then she'd be like, "I'm so sorry, I only have 45 minutes." But she would, you know, she'd leave her phone on the table and she'd be like, "Okay." And for 45 minutes, she would give you her all, and she would give you all of her attention.
Yep.
But yeah, very impressive how visual of a learner she is. You can show her something. You can show her something once. You can let her practice it 2 or 3 times, and then she has it down.
Yeah.
And that's something that, even as I work in this industry where you have to pick things up and you have to learn on the spot and all that, I can't even do that.
Yeah. That's awesome. Yeah, she came onto the scene pretty fast and rose to the top really quick, and I would assume it's because of her hard work ethic and all those types of things. So that's awesome to hear that those things are true. And I lived in Australia for 3 months, and I just got to say Australian people are fucking awesome, and she's living up to that.
Absolutely.
Definitely pulled up this fight scene here, the police station fight scene. I loved this scene. I kind of fast forward a little bit to the action here. So, who are all these kind of stunt people that are a part of this?
All right, here we go. This one, boom, Jeremy Marinas, right there. He's part of 8711, amazing stuntman, tricker. Eric Brown, yeah, Eric Brown right there. Jeremy again. I think she attacked him like 3 or 4 times. Oh, boom. We got Bruce. We got these are all our awesome stunt team right here. Daniel Stevens. He's a stunt double for Hugh Jackman and the Wolverine. This is Bruce Concepcion. He's one of.
I recognize him. He was in San Francisco, right?
Yeah, he's an incredible performer. And this is Mark Wagner.
Woo. Let's go, Renae.
That's Bruce again. He gets a blitter bomb in the butt.
Right in the ass. Oh my gosh, that's so great. Oh, I love that. Yeah, the whole Birds of Prey movie was just like great acting and then like crazy stunts where I was just like, yes, 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 yes. I was just like so stoked to watch it the whole time. And then we got this scene here, which I thought was super funny. So her name's Rosie Perez, right? She's in like White Men Can't Jump and a couple other big, Pineapple Express, I think she was in.
Totally, yeah. Yeah.
Who was her stunt double?
Her stunt double is Tara Mackin. I've known Tara for a long time. We started around the same time, so we've been working together for the last, 11 years. This scene was really fun because Rosie Perez is supposed to be drunk.
Yeah. Margot Robbie goes, "Are you drunk?"
Yeah. That's where my gymnastics came in handy, right there.
That thing was sick.
Bye-bye, birdie.
That's great. That's great. And then one last one here I got to show because you take a hard fall in this one, I got to say. In the Harley Quinn versus Thugs warehouse fight scene, we got to go through this one real quick, too.
I love this.
I'm assuming that was a stunt double for the younger actress too, right? Sliding under those legs.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
The baseball bat, yes.
Yeah, her signature baseball bat.
Yep. This is in my top actually too. Ooh.
And this one, how about that is Sam Hargrave right there. Boom to the neck. Yeah.
Yeah, one thing like you were kind of talking about with Captain Marvel and Brie Larson was how, she needs to bring to life the actual character, like how Margot Robbie does with Harley Quinn. And then also your moves are also, they build character with who the person is too. How do you kind of come up with these moves to go, all right, this move is going to represent Harley Quinn? You know what I mean? Like how much of that thought goes into that?
A lot, because especially we had, let's see, we had 4 or 5 female leads in this movie, and they all fight, and so it was very important to give them different fight styles, and so.
I'm listening, but I'm watching.
Yeah, sorry, I was watching too. So we're always trying to, especially when you have a unique character, you don't want to do generic moves. You're like, okay, like Harley Quinn, like she's weird and she's crazy, so let's try to make her action meet that. And she's violent, like, let's have her break a leg 3 times.
Yeah, that was nasty right there.
This is Cale Schultz right here. He is, boom, he is a really awesome stuntman and friend of mine, and he's also helps run 8711.
Yeah, how was getting kicked through that door?
Great.
That's great.
It felt how about it looks.
Oh, that's great. Yeah, that is one of the things for sure is like we were kind of talking about, making the moves based on that character and building that character. Like the moves with a baseball bat, it was like kind of how you're talking about, she's kind of insane. And then those tricks you're doing with the bat are just, they add to like her craziness. And then the way that she's just vicious and breaking the legs. I love that stuff. I love it.
So our fight coordinator put a lot of R&D into the bat work. I will no way, shape, or form take credit for any of the bat conceptualization. Jeremy Marinos, he would he'd always like come in you'd come in the next day and he'd be like, okay, I have this new bat thing, but he's so crazy talented that like nobody could do. He came up with some really cool stuff that usually like you would need CG to make happen, but he could do it. Yep. So definitely a lot of research and playing went into that.
Yeah, that's awesome. I found this picture here, so it looks like it's a bunch of the stunt doubles here. Is that correct for a bunch of names? Who are some of these ladies here?
All right. So from left to right, we have that's me right there. And then that's Anisha Gibbs, and she also doubles Halle Berry. And and then to the right, that's Marissa LeBong.
Did she do the slide under the legs? Was that her?
Yes. Okay, is that Marissa? You know what? We did that on reshoots, and so that might have been another double B.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Because I didn't have this fight scene. This was the end fight scene. So I didn't want to ruin the movie for everybody, but everyone's got to go see this film, and this end fight scene is super. It's just non-stop action at the end. Yeah.
And then next to Marissa, that's Haley Wright, and she's doubling for Huntress. And then to the right, that's Tara Mackin, and she's doubling for Rosie Perez.
That's great. That's awesome. Y'all killed it for sure. And then I just loved this photo. I just love this photo because you could just tell like y'all have been working hard, and it was just tell me what was going on in your head. Do you remember what was going on in your head during this time?
Yeah, I do. And I love this photo because it just, we are exhausted. I believe we were working nights, or we were working into the night, and it was a long week. And it was a very physical week. And you can tell on both of our faces right there that we are tired, we are exhausted, but we're still We're still in it.
No, that's a great photo. I had to pull that one up. And then I got to show this to you because so I'm watching all the fight scenes. And then yesterday I was actually playing a poker game online with my friends. And the whole thing was we were going to wear overalls. So I was wearing my overalls yesterday. And then I'm watching these fight scenes and I'm like, hey, they're wearing their overalls too. So I got all pumped up. So I have like a little backyard training thing I've got going on since quarantine started. So I'm wearing my overalls and I was like, you know what? I'm going to go try out some of these moves that they were doing in their overalls. So I went out in my backyard.
There's a picture to follow.
That little rubber staff was kind of my baseball bat. And then I was honestly like somersaulting all over my backyard, doing little cartwheels. And I was trying to pull off some of your moves. So you can do it much better than I on most of those moves, but it was fun. It was fun. It's fun fighting in overalls.
Well, there's one difference there, Dom.
Yeah.
Mine were leather.
Oh, those are all Gene right there. Those are all Gene. Oh, I thought that was great.
I love that. I love that you immersed yourself into Harley Quinn fight getup.
You inspired my workout yesterday. I thank you for that.
Oh, you're very welcome. Happy to.
And then I did pull a couple other fight scenes here. This one from the Wolverine. So was this before or after Hunger Games? I can't remember the timeline of when those films came out.
So I was this was after the first Hunger Games and before the second Hunger Games. So
okay.
Around that time, like probably 2012.
Nice. So this is still like early on in your stunt career then, huh?
Yes, this was my first sword fight that I ever had to perform. And I was, as you can see, the actor I'm fighting with, a very famous Hiroyuki.
Yeah, he is awesome. I love that guy.
Yeah, and so from day one, the guys were like, yo, you need to be badass because he's not any actor with a sword. Like, he's the man. So
He is the sword. He is the sword.
yeah. Yeah, so I put a lot of hard work into learning how to sword fight and making it legit and also being a good dance partner for Hiroyuki.
Yeah. And not to mention you had to perform with him and then in front of Hugh Jackman too. So it's like pressure was on that day, I'm sure.
Yeah, absolutely. I also at one point had to like jump over his face and they're like, hey, don't kick Hugh Jackman in the face.
It's an expensive face. It's an expensive face.
I think we'll see it somewhere here. I think it's after this. Yeah, so I have to like hardcore his face. I was like, got pressure.
In your head, you're like, don't kill Hugh Jackman. Don't kill Hugh Jackman.
Don't break his nose.
Well, as we all kind of know, we're stuck in the quarantine. We've all been trying to figure out things to do. And I had to pull this up. You know, you mentioned it too. The Boss Bitch Fight Challenge, which went pretty viral a couple days ago. I'll just kind of run it through. Go ahead. Feel free to throw out people's names that are in it and just kind of tell us like how this all kind of came to be. And I'll just kind of run this thing.
Okay, so my friend Zoe Bell, a very famous stunt woman, actress, and stunt coordinator, reached out to a few friends, and she's like, hey, because a lot of people have made these videos, and she's like, I really want to make an all-female one with my friends and some actresses. And so we all kind of, you know, that's Tara Mackin right there. We all kind of got together and just kind of filmed clips, and she put us in an order, and then she's just like, hey, make sure that your reaction matches, you know, whatever your person hits you with. That's Tomiko Broly.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and actually it started off with a pretty small crew of us, and then and then Zoe kept getting calls from, and that's Cameron Diaz right there, kept getting calls from actresses that are like, hey, can I be in your video?
How did everyone kind of see it before it even came out? Was it like a little text chain going on, or what happened?
Well, yeah, we had some of the doubles and then some of our actresses on board, and I think that they just talked and they were like, hey, I'm doing this video. And so it kind of just started, she's like, hey, I really need to wrap this up because it's going to get too big and too many people.
Yeah, every person in Hollywood wanted in.
Yeah. But yeah, it ended up being really fun.
Don't do that. Don't do that.
No,
break the
that's a good one. That's a good one.
Yeah, I love this. I saw you post it on Instagram, and I was like, this is awesome.
Yeah, it kind of got out of control. There's a lot of buzz going on about it right now. Oh my god, this girlie's so cute. Bam! Yeah, so this was something me and Heidi's in here as well, my sister.
That's awesome.
Yeah, we thought a really fun follow-up piece would be
Is that the girl from Kill Bill? That is, right?
Oh, I missed it.
Oh, it was
I
like
think
the whistling. Sorry, what were you saying?
We thought a fun follow-up piece would be to video the guy or like whoever's filming for you just getting like pummeled with like punches and kicks and tackles.
The cameraman's viewpoint of everything going on.
Yeah, because my husband filmed mine and I definitely like ran into him a few times. And this is Sean Duggins, very famous stunt double and coordinator. Zoe Saldana. This is Ming, incredible martial artist. I think this is Rosie Perez right here.
Yeah. Yep. You got the Birds of Prey crew on here.
Yeah. And how funny is that?
That's great.
Yeah. And Halle Berry's in here. I think we already missed hers.
She like fell in the pool or something like that, right?
Yeah.
I'm okay.
This is Monique Ganderton. There we go. There's Halle Berry.
That's Halle. Yeah, that's Halle. Yep. She killed it in John Wick, by the way. She was so good in that.
She was so good.
Yeah.
And there's Heidi. Boom.
Oh, she took the big fall there.
Yeah. And
You and her have the same attack move, I noticed, with the headbutt.
Yeah. This is Scarlett Johansson. Margot Robbie.
Yeah, I love this. The Bat.
And that's me.
There you are.
Ow.
Boom.
So I took my hazmat suit and overnighted it to Zoe so she could have it in her.
I was gonna ask. I was like, does everyone in Hollywood have these hazmat suits?
No, my husband had one from his work, and so I was like, oh, it'd be funny if I'm in a hazmat suit, and then it just happened that I was the last person, and she was like, oh, I think I'm gonna have you come through the screen. I'm gonna have my boyfriend dress up in it and tackle me.
Oh, so that was actually I thought they like threw something. That was actually a guy tackling her.
Yeah, that was her boyfriend, and yeah, so
That's hilarious.
He's like, do you have a wig? And I didn't have a wig, but I had some hair extensions. So he put the hair extensions, you can't even really see it in the video, but he's wearing that suit and hair extensions.
Went all out. Send the full package on the one night shipment. Well, kind of wrapping things up. Obviously, there was a lot of cool stuff that I wasn't able to show, just in terms of time. The Wasp, all those fight scenes are cool. What do you have kind of coming up? What do you have going on? What have you been doing in quarantine? What's kind of Renae Moneymaker's next moves once the world goes back to normal?
Yeah, so I was on a film when it shut down, I was working on The Matrix 4, which is where I met you. And yeah, so we will continue filming. We will go back and finish filming the rest of the movie whenever we are, prompted to. So that's on the docket. And then after that, I'm not sure, but we still have quite a bit of shooting left to do, like probably 5 or 6 months left. Yeah, so I have that lined up. And until then, I've been staying busy. I've been doing, like everyone else, doing my garage workouts. And I'm mixing it up with a few different workouts right now just to kind of keep it intriguing, And I've kind of been like volunteering a lot. I've been reaching out to my team at San Jose State. I'm actually going to do a Zoom training with my old club gymnastics team, who a very good friend of mine, she's one of the head coaches there. So I'm going to do like a little workout with them.
Nice.
Also doing some stuff with the Girl Scouts, an organization called Z Girls. They're a organization that works with like adolescent girls who are in sports and just kind of working on like confidence and community and all that.
That's great.
Yeah. And then just I'm actually just really, I don't get a lot of downtime, and so even when I'm bored and get sick of it, I really am trying to embrace that, just like kind of the
Chill for a little bit.
chill. Like, I've been watching movies. Like, we never watch movies. Been spending a lot of time with my husband. That's been just, we've been cherishing that so much.
Yeah,
Especially,
that's good.
you know, that this will end. We will go back to normal. We're gonna go back to work, and we're gonna be working so much. So we're just really trying to spend time together and embrace it.
That's the way to do it for sure. And going back on talking about, training and stuff like that and coming up with new things, like me, myself, I'm finding like I'm in my backyard training and I'm doing the same stuff. So I'm like, all right, I need to start thinking of some new ideas. And I'm starting to like innovate and make little new moves and trying out stuff like you've done, watching other fight scenes. So I feel like these times are like a really good time for people to like kind of level up themselves in certain ways. So, and self-reflect and spend times with your loved ones and all that. So I'm glad to hear you're doing that and helping out the organizations you mentioned and all that. So that's really great.
Thanks.
Yep. And then so people can find you on Instagram at Renae Moneymaker. Look her up on IMDb. Anything else where people can find you or check out your stuff that you can think of?
Yeah, I have a YouTube channel. It has some of my clips on there. It has my demo reel, Renae Moneymaker. Renae is spelled Renae. My handle on Instagram is Renae Moneymaker 707. I'm also on Facebook, and that's probably it. I don't think I'm on anything else.
Well, thank you very much for your time. It's been awesome going over these scenes with you. You're a super cool person. And I got to say, when I first met you, I didn't even know how awesome you were, but you were super cool in person. And then once I kind of looked into your stuff, I was like, oh, shoot, I was talking to a legend right here. And so I appreciate you being cool to me, and the first times we met and then doing this with me as well, too. So I really thank you for it. Hopefully someday I can come down and train with you and learn some tricks,
Yeah, that'd be cool. Yeah, absolutely. And I will, like, something that was great, and I'm going to give this advice to anyone who's kind of trying to get into film or stunts or anything like that, is you were not afraid to kind of come up to me and say, like, hey, I want to come to LA and I do stunts, but I want to up my game and all this. Like, is there something you recommended? And, you shouldn't be afraid to do that, and, just kind of respect people's time and space, and just like you did. And I thought that was really cool. And I think people don't do that, and they should. And yeah, and also I thought you were so funny because you only had one shoe on.
Well, they had me as the homeless person. I don't know how much I could say, but I was the homeless person. I don't know if were you there the night where I had to sprint down a hill in that thing? It was.
I was like, this poor guy. Does he know that we're going to be running a lot in this scene?
Yeah. I had to run. It was cold. I remember my body was warm because I was in heavy clothes, and then my foot wasn't covered at all. So like, it was a warm body, and then my right foot just would go numb, and so it was an interesting experience. That's great. All right, well, I'll wrap this thing up. I'll stop the recording. You don't have to hop off yet. We can kind of talk offline a little bit, but thank you again for everything, and I hope everybody enjoyed the episode.
Thanks.